What's going on, my fellow freelancers? Your dude Sly here, back at it with another Anthem video for those eye holes. And with the launch of Anthem creeping up in literally just a few days' time, BioWare has started loosening up about its endgame plans. Now, I was able to play parts of the endgame a few weeks ago. I also asked several questions about all kinds of stuff while I was there, and a lot of it was stuff that can't be talked about just quite yet, but a few details did come out, and I want to share that with you today. So in this video, we're going to be taking a peek at what's to come once the critical path or the campaign is finished and what we can look forward to soon after. We'll also be talking about what happened to Shaper Storms. Now, I meant to make this video well over a week ago, but I had to get everything ready in this weird place called the real world so I could disappear for a few weeks during Anthem's launch. Also, as you might be able to tell, I got like some kind of cold going on, so my voice is a little out of there. But nonetheless, better late than never. Screw the cold, let's get to it. Anthem's End Game, and arguably one of the better parts of the game, starts once you finish the critical path and you level up to a pilot level of 30. Now, all throughout the game, you'll be building alliances, chasing down the baddies, and new areas will be opening up, not only in the world of Anthem, but for Tarsus as well. These new areas will also come with new characters for you to meet, and some of them start you in the endgame process. Now, on top of that, once you reach level 30, the harder difficulties will start to unlock. They're called Grandmaster, and there are 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. If you watched my gameplay difficulty on Grandmaster, then you know it is absolutely no joke. Builds are going to be extremely important, but with the harder difficulty, also comes the better chance for higher loot. Now, every tier you go up in difficulty, the more likely it will be that you will get a high-end weapon or gear, such as a Masterwork or a Legendary version. Now, Legendary is, of course, the best of the best. One good thing about Anthem is that you can buy the game and all the DLCs or updates for at least this first year will be included. We'll talk about these updates here in a few, but within the first few weeks of Anthem's launch, the end game will consist mainly of the following things. We have public events in free play, legendary contracts, challenges and trials, and then the hardest of them all, which of course are going to be Strongholds, something we've talked about forever. Now, there will be new contracts and a new stronghold in the endgame, so it won't be just replaying old stuff over and over. However, I cannot tell you how many new things there will be, but I did notice that the later strongholds do start throwing out more in the way of mechanics compared to the first couple that you get to play earlier in the game. Now, playing these things on Grandmaster difficulty, playing Strongholds on Grandmaster, is where you start to become drowned in loot. However, it is absolutely no picnic. It takes a long time, but in the end, it is definitely worth it. On top of Strongholds, each faction within Fort Tarsus will also offer these things called legendary contracts. So there will be quite a few of them to go around in the beginning, and the added bonus is that you will rank up your standing in each faction while you're doing these, which has its own additional bonuses. However, one thing that everyone wanted to know about Anthem's Endgame is whether or not there will be a raid. And sadly, guys, there will not be a raid, at least anytime soon. And when I say that, I mean at least a raid in the traditional, form of a raid. However, soon after launch, Shaper Storms start creeping back into the picture. However, they are no longer called Shaper Storms, but rather they are now called Cataclysms. Once you play the game, it will give you a much better understanding to exactly what these Cataclysms are. But in the end game, these Cataclysms are what BioWare calls its aspirational endgame content. Now, even though I was able to play the end game, Cataclysms were not a part of it. However, these storms appear after a Shaper Relic becomes unstable. Now, do you guys remember those echoes that you had to bring back in order to silence those Shaper Relics? Well, if those echoes were not replaced, the energy just keeps building and building until it explodes into one of these Cataclysms. These Cataclysms play a huge role within the game, and they pretty much rearrange everything it touches. The world itself, the wildlife, the elements, everything is changed, and it can even create entirely new forms of life right there on the spot. These storms and their aftermath will be Anthem's version of a quote-unquote raid. The mutated wildlife, along with new reshaped world, will house this new activity, and from what they have to say, it'll be full of unsolved puzzles and brand new loot. Once again, this is a team event, so I am assuming that these puzzles will more than likely require 4 people to overcome. Now, there isn't a lot of info about these things right now, however, BioWare has put out a roadmap for the future, which is something I always love to see. So let's take a look at them. Throughout the first year, updates will be introduced by way of acts, similar to like a play. Origin members get to play on February 15th, and of course Anthem's worldwide release is February 22nd. Coming sometime in March will be Anthem's first update, Act 1, Echoes of Reality. This act will be split up into separate updates. The first update is called Evolving World. The second is called Stronger Together, and finally the third update is the Cataclysm, which is the new activity we just talked about. Now, like I mentioned earlier, only legendary contracts, strongholds, free play, and challenges or trials will be available directly after launch. We're going to have to wait for Cataclysms to be released sometime in March. The good thing is, though, by the time the 22nd comes around and you've explored everything, rebuilt Fort Tarsus, the freelancer's reputation, finished the game, it will most likely already be March by the time, these updates happen. So it's not like we're going to have to wait really all that long. Now, before I head out, I did want to talk about challenges. I made a few videos about these, quite some time ago, but crafting is going to be an important part within Anthem, and these challenges or trials are things you can do while completing the campaign, side missions, contracts, free play, strongholds, etc. So be sure to always keep an eye out on what you could be doing while fighting the Dominion, Beasts, or Scar. These trials, challenges, or what have you, they unlock tons of coin, blueprints, and crafting materials that you're going to need to keep pumping out brand new weapons. They're easily forgotten, so make sure you guys tie a little knot or something and be sure to remember them. But yeah, that is really about it, ladies and gents. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention is that these updates aren't just about the Cataclysm. As you can see, on top of this new activity at the bottom of the picture here, there will be new events added, quality of life changes, a plethora of new rewards and gear. Progression system will also get some nifty new things to play around with, and best of all, guilds will be making an appearance, or basically a clan system. That's one point I really mentioned in my feedback of my session in San Francisco, is that they really needed to bring clans in as soon as possible. As a multiplayer game, a clan system, just makes sense. But anyways, there will also be brand new strongholds and contracts, and even a few brand new missions. So these updates will constantly update Anthem, hopefully to keep things fresh. My biggest worry about Anthem, out of everything that I've seen and played, is its longevity. Now, I've played it enough now to know it's going to be totally fun to play, and the gameplay mechanics, of course, are smooth and intuitive, but it is the end game and the expansions of that end game that has me worried. Now, it's not because of anything I've seen or played, it's just that I haven't seen or played it, and that's what I'm worried about. This game will live or die by its end game. So here's hoping that BioWare absolutely brings it. But that is it, my fellow Lancers. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and for checking out Sly Nation. This channel would be nothing without you guys. So thank you for the support, and stay hyped, my friends, because we are just a few freaking days away from launch. I have been having so many PC problems lately, and I can never seem to pinpoint what's going on. But I will be attempting to stream on launch day all the way through the campaign. So if you're interested in watching that, then definitely look me up on Twitch or YouTube when the time comes. However, I haven't streamed on my new rig yet, so expect some issues. It'll be a good way to test it to see how it works. But I'm excited nonetheless. I've been following this game for literally years, and it is finally about to happen. So let's hope it's here to stay. Anyways, I gotta get out here, guys, or I'll just keep on battling. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, for the support. If you're new to the nation, then welcome, my compadres. Subscribe for many more Anthem, Division, and Destiny videos. Spank the thumbs up, but only if you enjoyed yourself, and comment down below on your thoughts about the endgame of Anthem. Do you wish there was a raid? Are you glad BioWare is going in a different direction? I mean, Division 2, it's going to be a pretty damn good game, and it's going to be stiff competition, especially considering BioWare's first major update will be in March, around the same time the Division 2 launches. Even though Cataclysm won't arrive until the third update, Division 2 is going to be some seriously stiff competition, and it's also another game I'm pretty excited about. But anyways, guys, feel free to check me out on Twitter or Facebook at Sly Nation or Sly Nation Gaming on the FB. Later, Lancers, and keep those eyes open for more vids coming out soon, but until then, this is your dude Sly, and I'll catch you all next time.